I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jesse.
We're Cannabis School. Having cannabis-infused conversations
with everyday people,
cannabis companies,
celebrities,
and your mom.
Welcome to the Sesh.
Honestly, the role is to make sure that people feel welcomed. And this guy's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, well, what verticals do you go after? And he goes, verticals? And his CEO looked over at him like kind of surprised.
Was that the VP of sales or something?
Yeah, it was the VP of sales. And I'm like, yeah. And he just went on about, well, we work with this type of company. And then like, no, that's great. What type of verticals are we talking about here? Like, do you have a direct audience or are you just shooting it everywhere?
Like a lot of companies, everyone's our customer. So
right. Anybody with $1 is my customer. It's a very Grant Cardone. Like, if they got $1, they're a customer. Yep. You just bring them on board.
You're selling to everybody. You're selling to nobody. So
exactly. Right. And that's the thing that a lot of these old salespeople have this idea of it's grind. And that's why salespeople are loathed.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're pushy. And,
it's like the door-to-door one who came over to my house for windows.
Oh, yeah. We love fucking with those guys.
Rang my door. Or he didn't ring my doorbell. He knocked on the door. But he did it twice, and Penny kept barking. I was like, what the fuck? So I look on the Ring app, and I'm like, who are these two dudes? Like, what? Like, they didn't look like they were wearing it until I open the door, and I see it right on his hat. And I'm like, what you guys... No, I was like, out here selling shit. And they're like, oh, no. We're with the marketing team. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I've knocked doors.
That would have been fucking hilarious if you did that.
That's exactly what
when
they
they
said.
started talking.
No, I went, okay. And then they kept talking. And they're like, so we're doing this stuff. And I'm like, so this home... I'm actually just house sitting. They're on
I love that
Mormon
excuse.
mission or something. So, and he's like, oh, so they're gone for a while. I'm like, yeah, like 6, maybe 7 months, I think. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Old fucking windows though. They could totally use it. Wish they could have done something. Be great. Good day though, and turn around and walk back inside. And it was like the shortest sales interaction I have ever had with a salesman of going, yeah, I know what you're here for, and I know your whole story, but like at the end of the day, I know you don't really give a fuck. And the last person who came here to show me that and tell me, look at this great deal, my dad's a general contractor. I grew up doing this shit. You just like 3 times marked it up. I'm just going to go buy him this other place and install him myself.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. Like I've loved about cannabis. I mean, I've told that to door-to-door salespeople. I'm like, you smoke weed? And I'm like, I smoke weed. They go, well, I mean, I've tried it a few times. I'm like, you should smoke more weed. Matter of fact, you should smoke it before you go out and sell. And the guy's like, why? And I'm like, because, dude, when you like this last guy, like I ruined his day. I took a full 40 minutes of his time. I didn't buy either. I just took his time because he was trying to take my time. And I'm like,
you're like, fuck it. I'm going to just like.
Oh, dude, I was on an edible, and I've been puffing on my pen, and I was playing. I re-downloaded Insurgency because I needed some popcorn.
Yeah.
And so I was playing that, and I was bad. I was really bad. I was like at the bottom of but it took me like about an hour, and then I was at the top again. I was like, it was all like.
Younger me totally would have done that to the salespeople and just fucked with them for hours. Like. Because I love doing that shit to people who are like, they have the dumbest stuff.
Oh,
like
when I throw a pattern in, like this guy, he's like, hey, how's it going? He's like, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, you just get to the point and he just goes right into it. But I am feeling very good. So I'm just smiling. And I am so chink-eyed that I can't even see. Like, I am smiling. Like, right now I'm smiling and everything's like blurry.
Yeah.
That's how much I was smiling. I barely could make out this guy's face. And he's like, oh, yeah, we go around. We're working with your neighbors. Gay.
Yeah.
And I was like, gay. And he goes, and I'm like, what else you got? He goes, and I'm like, no, dude, look. I said, look, I'm a communication and behavioral expert. I said, I just really don't like you're trying to create this relationship with me right now. I don't know who the fuck you are. And the kid goes, oh, fair enough. I'm like, don't say fair enough. You haven't offered me anything, so there's no fair. I said, just, can I help you out here? And I'm so high. And I'm like, I am in like one of the traits where I am out of balance is giving unsolicited advice. So I'm really, really, really careful on it now So I don't give advice right away, and I try to listen more instead of just because of my ADHD. I go, oh, like that's why I talk over sometimes.
It's very easy to do.
Oh yeah.
I actually had to think about that yesterday, and working with my dad, and intentionally in the morning, I told myself, I was like, Brandon, you need to remember the pause today. Pause in my responses. Pause in my because
that's good, man.
But I didn't respond. Like, it got heated for a second, and I said things that I didn't have that pause, and so but at the same time,
it's hard, dude, because it's like
hard working with my dad sometimes. But
well,
I
it's
love
hard
him to
working with
death.
your parent. Period.
Yeah,
even talking to him.
But we have, because it's 4 days a week most weeks, and for 5 to 9 hours a day, we have lots of conversations, and
that can get kind of.
And
is it exhausting sometimes?
Sometimes we have because we have very different beliefs.
Oh, of course,
on almost everything. But at the same time, a lot of similarities. And I liked that and that was what I tried to find, was instead of retaliating or saying this, it was like, my response was like, my dad went, because I told him that I wasn't proud to be American. I wasn't proud to be here. He was like, you sound like you hate your country. I'm like, I sound like I'm disappointed in my country. And I think if our founding fathers woke up, they'd roll over in their grave and go, what the fuck? And I'm like, and that's not just Trump, that's everything getting here. I think everything, they'd go, what the fuck? And he's like, well, if your generation was running it, I don't think I'd want to live in this country. And I'm like, well, your generation is, and I don't think I do. And I'm like, and what do you think is so bad or wrong about or different about my beliefs than yours? And I was like, and he's like, what's your belief on freedom? And I told him, and he told me his, and I'm like, we have the exact same fucking belief.
Give you an answer, ma schnell.
And everything he kept saying, everything he mentioned, I'm like, Dad, we share this same belief. Every position he brought up, I'm like, we share that belief. I don't argue with that. I think that's correct. Like, and so everything that he was thinking, like, well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so here you are accusing me, not you, but him accusing of like, hey, you would be such a terrible, your generation would fuck things up or do this. But yet you also told me we have almost the exact same beliefs and things that we value and respect and look for. So what the fuck?
Well, and a lot of it is just because of programming that they have built themselves. It's not necessarily what was forced on them. It's what they accepted. And the reason why I believe that is that your dad grew up during an era of a lot of free thinking, and that actually meant either you followed a very strict guideline, which is the culture he grew up in. If we think about it, the culture your dad grew up in Utah in was predominantly white, racist, middle America.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, and I don't know. I don't know. Did their racism come out of hatred? Or
no, it's just, it came out of different. That's all. It was like, even Grandpa, remember when Grandpa, before he died, he was talking about, like, he saw a black guy in Provo or something. He goes, and then I saw one of them Negroes. And it's just like, I could tell if I said something like that completely in that context of just saying, oh, I saw a black guy over there.
Yeah.
That would be, it's seen as hateful because it's been built as hateful. But for them, the kids learned it not because it was hateful. It's just what you said.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I thought about, because my dad was like, you think I'm racist? You think I'm this? I'm like, I've never stated that once, actually. Where are you getting that? I've actually never said that to you, ever.
No, you have beliefs, and your beliefs are what was it? There was a really beautiful way I heard somebody say it. It was Simon Sinek. God, it was such a great episode. I got to send that to you. It actually inspired me to create behavioral fusion. Like, because he was talking about what's the one thing right now we have coaches for everything. Business coaches, life coaches, talent coaches, like anything you can think of, sports to interpersonal relationships, right?
Because it's just a way to get better.
You know what we don't have coaches for?
How to wipe your ass?
How to make friends.
Oh.
And one of the biggest requests that he would hear when he would go speaking, and he was talking to this other guy who runs a Diary of a CEO podcast, and Stephen Bartlett. And Stephen Bartlett, young guy, he became a millionaire by 25. And when he was 20, he wasn't anywhere close to that. So he just had this work ethic and figured out a niche. And it worked really well. And now his business is Diary of a CEO podcast. And it's cool. But when Simon Sinek was on there, he pointed out a lot of different things that we do, and is that we have focused on efficiency, we have focused on clarity of message, and we're getting into story. But the one thing that we're not doing is connecting. We are not connecting. We are trying to automate everything, including our interactions relationally.
Yeah.
So when that happens, we don't know how to make a genuine friend. And he has gone through this process of, he has a lot of like friends in the special forces community he talked about. And one of the things which he talked about, which he was like, oh, it's this moment. And he's like, it's almost like he's revealing it as prophetic, which is funny because I know a lot of people, including myself, used to think this because this is when I started doing it. He's like, everything changed. You ever hear his voice? It's really weird. He's been born and raised here in the United States. Has an English accent every once in a while. Like, it's very strange.
I used to, oddly, it would come out and people would go, where are you from? And I'm like, Provo.
Yeah, dude. Well, because I did so many accents and I used to do it a lot. I
think that's what it is.
It is. It's just fucking around with it, and it kind of gets into your verbiage. And
I think that's the problem. Is like, it's so much in mind because it's been something I did so much because I liked how it sounded. I love accents; they're so unique.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's been something I've done for so long that like I will say something and I'm like, fuck, I hope that didn't sound racist. Like, it wasn't intended as it. It's just like it comes out, and then I'm like even sometimes when we play games and I say something in like a Hispanic accent, I'm like, shit, I hope Jesse doesn't think I'm...
Oh, I don't care about that. And I never have, because I mean, my wife has pointed it out there. Like, I grew up with this like weird pride in being Mexican because my dad's Mexican.
Should be proud in,
no,
like,
but this is the
culture.
thing. I see things very much like that, where I love what you said earlier, and I'll get back to Simon Sinek, but what you said earlier was awesome, dude. And if anything, your father should have been proud of you if he truly knew what it was to be an American. And it's the fact that you said what you said. I'm not proud to be an American. Good for you, because you don't have to go along with everything, because your idea of being an American is different from other people. And you have a lot of similar thinking people going, I don't like it either anymore. My idea of what America should be is not what it should be. And that's what the beauty is that now I look at it not as one against another. It's just ways to be able to learn a perspective.
Yeah.
I try to look at interactions like that as, I want to learn your perspective. I get excited if I've learned a lot, and I want to, I've learned a lot from both sides, and I know how they're both trying to manipulate. And it's funny. That's why
there was a picture of a senator who had, I guess, covered her face, and because it wasn't supposed to be a photo op, it was just supposed to be like a Senate meeting or something, and she covered her face when someone tried to take a photo, and then it was all the comments from both sides, left and right, of just like shitting all over her and that, and it was like she literally just covered, and it's like, this is the extremism of what we share versus like, did you want your picture taken maybe that day? Like, is there a time that you're like, fuck, I don't want this camera in my face, get out of here, like, fuck off?
One of the funniest conspiracy theories I love is that China has been purposely corrupting our youth. They're getting into social media. They're purposely trying to destroy society. No, dude, we're Americans. We'll fuck it up on our own.
Yeah, but I mean, even that whistleblower you found out from Facebook where China was allowed, they put in, and
I know, but the thing is like people.
But yeah, no, we will fuck it up all on our own.
Oh, dude. Well, you think about the I mean, yes, if you introduce that, but it is a valid point. It shows how soft-minded many of us can be, because our own opinion, we just accept opinions of others, and that's kind of like, it dovetails right back into what I was saying with Simon Sinek. He's like, when this Navy SEAL friend of his told him one day, he goes, I love you, man. And he was like, wow. And he treats the word brother as sacred as the word is love. He's like, a lot of people say, they'll call him brother. And I truly feel that towards people. If I have a connection, I'll call him brother. If I don't like him, it's like, hey, your name.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve. Okay. You're all about the business, fuckhead.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, I don't want to talk to that guy anymore. He's just got a bad vibe. But
yeah,
it's this thing that we have forgotten. He's like, nobody knows how to make friends anymore. Stephen Bartlett will be there talking in front of 50,000 people. And in the front row is a bunch of young entrepreneurs, and they come up to him. They don't ask him, how did I make money? What did you do first in your business? They go, how do I make a friend? How do I make friends? And he goes, and that's just not sometimes, that's all the time. Because they see that I'm charismatic and I'm on stage and I'm talking to them because I'm trying to inspire them to do more because I have done a lot. He's like, so I know that I'm going to hit one of those guys and they're going to be inspired. But
do you think it's a learned trait that those kids and all of our kids have just learned to be so disconnected because instead of truly connecting with them, we just stuck them in front of something?
I don't think it was even we stuck them in front of something. You got to think about it on the smallest scale. They were born with this in their hands when we barely got it into ours.
Yeah.
So we didn't know what it was going to be like everything else.
We had no idea.
And like
I'm just asking if you, not that it was intentional.
No.
Just if you think that's truly what caused this massive disconnect.
Well, we've learned to be able to communicate with symbols and with dry tone. And when we interact with voice and with, a lot of our interactions are voice and tone. And the words we use, there's my theory on it is that, the communication pie, a lot of it's physical. And then a lot of it's
body
tonality.
Language and
But then it's like 7% is words.
Yeah.
My idea is actually on the reverse now because our world is so digitally connected. Now I can't read your body language. Now I can't understand what you may be communicating with the words you're using and the tone
Some
you're taking.
definitely can't.
No.
But they're not taught. That's it. They're just not taught anything.
Well, because it's forgot. Because why? These kids grew up with this in their hands.
Fuck, dude.
Is it our fault?
I feel like I'm about to piss myself.
Oh, go. Dude, you can always put just... Yeah. I'm surprised I don't have to go. My medications rock. I put a bunch of those in there. You're going to have a good time. Oh, dude. He's got some other ones, too. He does one from, what's it called? Oh, why can't I remember? All of a sudden, I wanted to say Jamiroquai. And I'm like, nobody listens to Jamiroquai. Jamiroquai doesn't listen to Jamiroquai.
I listen to Jamiroquai.
Oh, my gosh. This is hilarious.
I liked songs.
Oh, no. I mean, I don't get. I like the one song where he had that music video where the floor is moving.
I've never seen their music videos.
Dude, I grew up on music videos. That's what's sad is that.
I did too, but in early 2000s. So most of those weren't on.
I was watching that as soon as my parents they bought cable. And I was like 9.
Oh, damn.
And so it was so cool, man, because that was, my mom was really into music. So was my dad. And so it was great, dude. I mean, that was the one thing I love about my childhood. I got a very rich music library from both of my parents. Like stuff that I appreciate that a lot of kids love now.
Like they just had a really wide variety of it? Okay.
Yeah, my dad was like into, it was called New Age music, right? Like Guitaro and these other guys. And
Guitaro.
There's this Japanese dude, before it was all synthesized.
Yeah.
It was like he had to create those instruments to make those sounds. And all he had was like keyboards, and he would create that. I mean, even back in the day, like the complex music that you hear from artists today can be all mixed with software. But back then they had like layers of keyboards that all had different sounds.
Yeah.
And then they started getting better and they're like all in one. But honestly, it would be better to have more.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to push a button. You're just going, oh, samba. Right. And then canon, whatever.
My parents had this Clavinova one by Yamaha that it could do so much that Steph's dad used to come over and compose on it because it would write into the computer for you.
Oh, I remember.
And get all the notes of what you're playing and stuff. So you could transpose it and not have to worry about any shit. It was so fantastic.
Yeah, I never got why he didn't, but it's kind of like the same with your brother Curtis.
Oh, he was amazing.
He was amazing, and he does not play in front of anybody ever.
No. And you can't
even ask him.
He has that one. And I asked him, I was like, oh, do you use it? Like, can I borrow it? And he was like, oh, yeah, I play it all the time. I've never heard you or seen you play in 20 years.
Yeah, it to me, it's like the same with my father-in-law, man. There's some pain attached to that. And it's their own secret little hell.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with piano still. Like, because there was 10 years of my life that I had to take. Well,
I gotta say,
I wanted
to
to take lessons at the beginning.
right,
But then,
but you didn't want to play what you were told to play.
no, I didn't. I always transposed everything to a sharp or a minor. Like, I was always changing the keys, the tunes. Like, I was always like, oh, yeah, I'm going to play this in F sharp. Oh, let's play it down here. Oh, I'm going to play this one. And I would play it in every different key because I just liked the different sound.
Oh, yeah,
I
you get
love
bored.
music. Yeah, and I get bored real fast.
Did your mom like you to play hymns?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Oh.
And as we got older in church, it was like, oh, well, you can play in priesthood every week. Oh, you can do this. And it's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to learn more hymns. I don't want to play more of this. I want to play, like, I'd rather play other types of music.
Oh, yeah.
And so I loved finally when it was like we moved across town and we knew no one up there. They didn't want to drive me across town, so I got to get out of piano lessons at like 14.
So
I
you're
played
still
for-
good, right? You can learn.
Oh, I can learn. I can read. It takes me a bit.
Can you do tabs?
I've never done tabs with piano. I've only done sheet music.
The coolest thing like that we
Theory.
never created. I almost thought you said 10 years of therapy. I'm like, you probably need
Oh,
that.
God, I wish.
But no, I feel the same way. That's one of the things, like, it was really hard for me because I've been a martial artist since I was just a little
Yeah.
kid. And it is a big part of my identity because it's something that it's now effortless and it's there. I've got a wealth of knowledge and I've poured out a lot of the bullshit and it just feels whole to me.
Yeah.
But I really wanted that for my kids. And we tried it once. I'm like, no, I'm not going to train them because they've seen how I train other people and I'm not nice. Well, at least I wasn't nice. I was trained hard. I didn't have pads.
Yeah.
Pads get tougher. But it was like old school karate and kung fu dudes. Like, they just beat the shit out of you. Mainly, I think, is because they like beating kids.
Probably. Well, it was a different era. It was like it was the era of like slap the shit out of your kids.
Well, and that's why the parents were like, yeah, you're a little shit. Fucking go over there too. Let somebody else beat you and I don't get in trouble for it. Like, I
Right?
mean, my parents, I come home and bruises everywhere. Bruises all over my body. And my mom's like, this is what you like? I'm like, I love it.
Huh.
And she's like, cool. But it was, I wanted that for my kids. And because we started them in Taekwondo, and my wife goes, I don't want them learning how to fucking dance. I'm like, I love her so much. And I'm like, you're right. And we pulled them right out. And they hated it. And after that, like, every once in a while, like, I'll have people from back in the day that I used to train. It's been a long time since I coached and trained. And I'll have people from back in the day going, hey, man, it's awesome to see you. And we go, could we get together? And I've got some ideas. I'm still training. And it all comes back. And I'm playing with them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and my kids see it. And they go, wow, I want to learn that.
Do you have other hobbies from 20, 30 years ago that you still do?
No, man, because that's another thing, too. Like, I mean, as much as I'm grateful for learning martial arts at a young age and being as fluent as I am in that type of stuff and confident, I didn't really get to do anything else other than, like, my parents said, yeah, play a sport, play Little League. And I hated it because I wasn't good.
Did you not do any other one or just Little League?
I did soccer. I sucked at soccer because,
Me
again,
too.
the thing is I had parents trying to tell me how to do better at it. My dad grew up playing soccer.
My dad was always like, he was always at my games, but I swear he was always the coach, like coaching from the side, like, hey, do this. And like, I mean, I always looked up to my dad,
But that's
So
good.
it's just-
I don't think that is a bad thing because it was like you were learning something about it. The difference is that my parents put me in it because they just felt like I needed to do something.
I think mine did too, because we had such a list of everything to do. And then I did basketball for a while. I was always doing something.
Well, I mean, in part of it, I made friends that I still talk to this day playing baseball. Like, I
Playing baseball?
sucked
Oh, dang.
when I was in 7th grade. I sucked. They stick me in right field. They're like, yeah, put that kid. Nobody hits the ball out there. Fucking put him out there. And then when I came up to bat, everybody was pissed, and I'd fucking strike out,
That's
or
funny.
I wouldn't swing. And I started trying to learn how to bunt because I couldn't hit the fucking ball. Well, I got into Kung Fu at the end of the baseball season. And I had this great teacher that he had created this audio tapes and cassette tapes. And you take this cassette tape and he have all of this composed music that he had done through instruments and synthesizers. And it was really cool, but he put in there, like, he was ahead of his time. He put in subliminal messages in both of them. One was called internal power and one was called fighting power. And I'm so mad. I found it recently that there is available. It's $40 for the audio file. So I'm like, I'm saving up for that on the site. I mean, that's hard to convince hey, it's a music thing and it's $40. And she go, what is it for? It's for Kung Fu. She get the fuck out of here. Right. But I mean, I'm going to put like Venmo money, little dollars at the side.
Like, I'll get it.
Right. I'm going to get it later. But it was so incredible. Like after you would do Kung Fu, they would always play it in their internal power. And if you listen to it with your cassette tape, and I would put it high volume at night, and I push it there because it had this like leaflet inside, and it had a bulleted list of all of the sayings it was going to tell you. There was 98 sayings in there to help you with inner calm, all that, and it's subliminal. And truly, it would put you in a meditative state while you were training, and it dulled the pain. It was weird. It was that. But then fighting power, he's like, only listen to it once a week. So don't tell ADHD kids that. And so when do I listen to it? All the time, nonstop. Yeah. That's in my cassette player all the time. And you can hear the subliminal messages more clearly. And it's talking about attacking, looking for the angles, like all of these things that he wants you thinking about when you're fighting somebody. And I used to play at baseball. So 8th grade comes around and I'm like, I'm getting better. 9th grade, shit, dude, I was crushing that ball. I was taking the cover off that thing. I was running faster. I was catching faster.
Oh, so you played it for years then?
Oh, yeah. I loved baseball at that point. But my parents, like, that was the only thing. And then after that, like, I mean, we didn't have a lot of money at the time. And they're like, oh, we want you to play for the All-Stars and da-da-da. That's because they like my name, Angeles.
Oh, that's dope.
They were like, oh, dude, dude, truly, like, you got Jesse Angeles coming up, number 13, right? I mean, that sounds like a baseball player name.
There you go.
But my parents were like, no. We're going to put all the money into, and this is the way I felt. I'm sure that's not the way it was, but they put everything into my sister. She played accelerated softball. Like she couldn't even play for the high school because she was way higher level. She's like those girls that you see on ESPN where they do that super fast under pitch. Like you hear a slap and that ball.
Holy shit.
And she was a catcher. And she did so well, dude. Like she ruined her hand for the rest of her life. She was catching fastballs like that. Like, it ain't no fucking like company softball pitch shit. This is like, this is terrifying.
That's crazy.
Like, you watch these girls play. Like I was like at a young age, I'm like, I have to take testosterone just to keep up
you're
with
like,
them.
I feel like my balls are smaller just watching this.
Totally. I'm going backwards in time. Yeah. And why is the hair going away? Like it's going inside.
I'm still a man, right?
But dude, like they put everything into that. And the only thing I could do, my dad was like, well, you've always done martial arts. So when I asked to go back into martial arts again, after leaving it for a couple of years, he's like, absolutely. And they put me in there, but it's got to be cheap. So I had to negotiate with my Kung Fu teacher, telling him what I can do and clean the place if needs be. Shit. I will do whatever it need to. I got a paper route to pay for it.
I remember having a paper route.
Dude, kids need paper. Dude, that's the one thing I miss too is that there's something about the commitment of
getting up at the butt crack of dawn, wrapping and getting like these stacks of
in
newspapers.
The fall time where it's fucking frosty outside.
Or like winter time and you're like, it's fucking cold.
Did you get one of those cool bags?
Oh my God. We did have those and
my dad made them.
Oh my God, that's cool.
You know, that old, no.
Great.
They were... Because those bags you had, they were like canvas.
Yeah, they were sturdy as fuck. You could put them on your bike. And
I had these cotton bags that were stitched together like fucking Frankenstein. And then they'd sling them over my shoulders. And I'm holding them. And dude, it's like pulling me forward. Yeah. Like I'm like running just to keep myself from eating shit.
And you've got the weight on it and throwing it at the same time. Like,
dude, my dad used to get mad because we used to do it as a family because we were really poor at the time. And
we did too. We did a paper route and we did so many paper routes.
Yeah, waking up at 5 a.m.
It was in the van. We took the van because it was like, and they would just drive and we would be running down both sides and we'd have kids just throwing them. And I'm like, oh my God, like I I forgot that was a thing.
Oh, dude, my parents were like, after we get paid, they give us like $5. We didn't make a lot of money, and you don't. But that's the thing I miss, is that we don't have those opportunities for kids to be able to interact and make friends. I wrote this little book about men trying to be able to interact. I hear that all the time. Men say, I don't know what to say to other people. I don't know how to make friends. I don't know how to talk to women. And they make it more complicated because, well, we don't have examples anymore. We grew up with sitcoms and funny movies, and they kind of helped you out in some ways. You learned how to read facial expressions and tone, but it was subconscious. But you were learning it. Now what do we get? We get filtered shit to buy more stuff. Not to fit an agenda. It's to buy more stuff.
Yeah. And that's just
it's just consumerism.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's terrible because like we have less interaction everywhere we go, even stores. How many times do we choose to go through the self-checkout versus the person who has no one waiting?
Why though?
Because it's like, hey, I would rather not have to talk to some other person and say, how's your, like, because they're like, well, I don't give a shit. I don't care about that person. Well, why? Why couldn't you just make a real conversation for like a couple minutes?
No, I have no.
It's hard because they don't know how.
They don't know how.
And they're not comfortable doing it. So it's like, well, I'd rather go through this robot and beep, beep, beep versus having a conversation I don't know how to have and feeling uncomfortable this whole time.
Well, and I get it because, I mean, you know, there are so many different things that we judge ourselves before we go over and interact with somebody. Yeah. Instead of just going over there and just, you know, like, honestly, like a great movie to be able to break the ice and not give a shit about people, go watch Dumb and Dumber. And, you know, it's like, skis, huh?
Yeah.
Are they yours? Yeah, both of them, you know, or big gulps, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I love that movie.
Or the so best dumb. Part, when he's leaving the bar and he sees that thing about the moon landing, he goes, no way. And then he runs out. Hey, everybody, we landed on the moon. Right? It is so funny, dude. Like, yeah. You know, to have that kind of like mind-numbing confidence is needed because you start seeing it like the weird interviews you see those young guys doing, they're not good looking by any means. They're not like these stunning looking kids that are built and stuff that we grew up learning that women want brawny and muscular and and bare chested.
Well, that gave me this great confidence being this twink of a guy who's really small, and I'm like, yeah. Okay.
And it made me obsessed about getting bigger because that's what I thought it was supposed to be. But when you see people in like, take like Mel Gibson. He's not a big dude, but women loved him because in early years, you know, because he fit a character in their mind. And that's what women would learn about. What do I want? Do I want that kind of relationship? Do I want that kind of person? Because these things were written as a perspective of seeing a life outside of our own. Now it sounds like, well, we also want to kind of change your opinion to buy more of our shit. Like, it's all corporatized. Yeah. Even though it feels like it's supposed to be like, hey, that's not right, it's all corporatized. Nobody gives a fuck about your race, your gender in the corporate world. All they care about is, are you going to keep spending money with me? How do I appeal to that part that makes you want to spend more? How do I turn you into a raving fan? How do I turn you into a lunatic?
How do I get you on this subscription where you're here every single month?
Yeah. How do I take money from you every month? Like, there's a funny commercial where...
Or like Amazon. How many times can I get you to come to Amazon and go like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this?
Well, not only that, but like Amazon on Prime now, dude, you have to pay more. Even though this is in your contract, you have to pay more to get no ads. Now, Hulu, you have to pay more to get no ads. Every single one of these motherfuckers. Because before, dude, even early when I saw this thing about Netflix, they used to tell you to share your password.
Because they wanted more people on their platform, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And now they're so big, they're like, no, fuck you guys.
Come on, dude. We need that. And not only that, we're going to increase our price.
Yep.
Because it's so hard to be us. So hard.
Yeah, it's really rough.
I can't get my gold-plated... You know,
Bentley of this color because the other 36 of them are like...
You know when you've arrived, Brandon, when you can have a custom-made, handmade platinum with a 28-carat diamond right in the middle of it, butt plug. That's when you know you've arrived.
I've not arrived. Have you?
I haven't gotten to the butt plug part, but I know if I get to a certain income,
Then
I
you
have
can
to
get
start
the butt
looking
plug.
into them.
Yep. Yeah. What is the income for entering that butt plug ratio? Let us know.
And then if you get to there, you also have the one that lights up.
Yeah, of course.
Have
And
you ever seen those
vibrates
videos of those girls walking around and their butts like?
Oh, there was no, Emily sent me something. It was a dude, and he was like doing some weird thing,
Yes,
and
I
then he
saw
jumps, and it like glows. Like, oh wow!
Like I don't I mean, I guess in the moment, but if that, I don't know, that's not a fashion thing. I'm like shoes, watch, butt plug. All right, I'm ready to go, honey.
Right? Oh, hey, it's not in. Like, all right, we're good to go. Oh, I forgot to spit on it.
Oh man, I don't know. I love your question like that, and I've thought about it a lot. You know, you've said it a lot, and it's like, you know, it's because we babysit these kids with these devices, but I've looked at it going, well, they were raised with it, so it's not necessarily and a lot of people have tried to keep it out of their kids' hands, like you know, Gab Wireless, a company here in Utah. They're known in a lot of places. They have a really dumbed down phone that your kid will use for about 2 months and then get mad at you and leave it in the drawer because it's super limited. You can't do anything on it. And they go, why don't we just get a flip phone? Well, Brandon said that with his, I'm just going to get a flip phone. And then you're going to get a really nice camera. And then you're going to get an MP3 player if they sell those.
Or you'll just have like an old iPhone or something that you bring with you to do stuff anyway. And then you're like, well, you know, this
I'm
is
just
for
gonna
my
use
music and my
yeah.
camera. Okay, well then you're carrying 2 phones around? Like, I don't want to carry more shit around.
Yeah,
don't
I
have
always
to worry
thought that
about
was weird. Like when somebody in business would have like, I saw a guy with 3 phones.
Jeez.
I'm like, what's
no.
that for? Well, that's my wife. That's for the business. And this is my side business. Like, oh my gosh.
Wow. No,
Hello?
I don't want to
Hello?
have to deal with that shit.
Hello?
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's
No.
so dumb.
I don't know. Just get one phone, guys,
One phone.
and tune in next week.
Yeah, and sign up for the special T-Mobile plan. Just put Cannabis School. No, just kidding. Don't do that. That'd be funny as shit. Somebody's over there at checkout going, this is not working. This code is not working.
Oh, what the hell? What's wrong with your code?
Dude, we should do that. We should create, this last thing, we should create a fake advertisement like this other guy does. He likes to spoof somebody and then put like he's that company talking for them.
Should.
So he's done that for like KFC and stuff like that. He'll defend it. If somebody goes, KFC is fucking trash, and he'd be like, hey, that's my family business, and it says official KFC. It's so funny, dude. He has got so much shit because he'll take it down.
Probably.
But that's exactly what it's like, dude.
That's
that would be fun to
hilarious.
do. We should do that. Just get online and act like them. I don't appreciate you saying that about Hershey's.
Right? It doesn't give you the squirts.
All right, guys. Take care.